This is the notorious Lamb Funeral Home in Pasadena, California. It was a well-respected business for many, many years. And then, in the 80s, a scandal was uncovered. Probably one of the most flagrant abuses of the death care industry. This place has become notorious. It's funny, you pass a building like this 100 times, and every single time I wondered about what happened inside of it, thought about the experiences and the atrocities, the horrific way that people's remains were handled, and how tragic it was for the families of those people whose remains were mishandled. It's scandalous and it's reprehensible. And it's still a curiosity, and it's history. So Noelle offered to show me around, and as far as I know, no one has ever seen the inside of this place, got a proper view of it. And we saw places that aren't going to show up on the escape room experience, but for history's sake, we were able to see them and show you. So this is the Lamb Funeral Home, the infamous Lamb Funeral Home.
I saw your website, I looked over your website,
Yes.
and I really haven't asked much about it because I want you to be able to tell me the whole experience. And you're familiar with it all, right?
Yes.
The whole Lamb scandal?
Your story.
Oh, I'm so excited.
About it, the whole
I am so excited. Well, you wouldn't mind taking us on a little tour.
For sure.
Oh, this is so exciting. Thank you. When is your escape room and tour opening?
Hopefully by October. We're running things around, so it's on its way. So that's what I'll say.
This is so cool. Look at that. Now, after the Lamb scandal, I know that the family was trying to continue on in the mortuary business in this facility.
Yes, they did.
Were they successful?
No, they weren't successful. And then afterwards, a company named Avalon came through, and they weren't successful as well. And the building actually went vacant for a couple years. And that's when it was purchased, and it was completely run down. There were squatters in here. It smelled like urine. And we came in and completely revamped the building.
Is any of this stuff original to the building?
The chimney, I know we got this from the Pasadena, there was a country club in Pasadena.
Okay.
And we thought it matched
It's
the
perfect.
building. So
It's perfect. Gather here. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a living room. I know
Yes.
that's what funeral parlors are supposed to be, but the Lamb family, they opened here in '29, as I understand it. Charles Lamb did.
Yes.
And then and had a stellar reputation, which also kind of weirdly led to their downfall
Yes.
because everyone trusted them. This is wow, this is a real treat to see this. Look at the windows.
they were like the Cadillac of the mortuary business, the gold standard.
Daughters.
The granddaughter married Jerry Sconce,
Yeah.
and then that's when they had David Sconce.
Okay, show us around if you don't
Yes,
mind.
definitely.
This
So
is
this
so
is the
exciting.
fireplace room, I'd say. I do have pictures I can offer you guys as well of a funerals that were done here. And this is where they would host the funeral. So this was like the seating area here. Now it's our aisles. We're a business. And this is where they would put the bodies.
So this is your electric
Family business, yes.
So it's just by coincidence, and they're
Yes.
taking advantage of
It's a really cool story.
And you don't have to ask. You don't have to get permission to
Yeah.
do it. Oh my God, the neighbors can't go. No.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So this is where they used to. Yeah, that one's original to the building.
Family owned, dedicated. If only, well, old Charles Lamb didn't know what was going to happen in
Yes.
here.
And this is where they would have the bodies, and now we sell material over it.
So this was like the display kind of area, I
Yes,
guess.
this is the display.
What'd you call that, Troy? When you have when you put them on display, viewing.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a viewing.
This is probably the little family chapel off to the side, so they could have privacy over there, I would imagine.
Yes.
I'm trying not to get anyone else on camera.
And these, we obviously have them blocked off, but this is another area, and we'll go in there.
Oh, another like a slumber room.
Slumber room, preparation room. There's many different.
How long has your family been in the electric business?
We've been in it since, I believe, '98. We started in Alhambra, and then we acquired this building, and we expanded in 2016 to here.
When you took it over the building, you had to have known.
We actually didn't know, my dad was doing the processing and everything, and I like to do my research, and I was like, yo, there's 2 books written about this place, and I started digging more and more, and I was like, there's some history to here, so.
Yeah. And I'll ask you probably later, but I mean, because of granted, all the terrible things happen to people who are already dead.
Yes.
So it's just the evil people that they were, Sconce and
Yes.
his, I don't know. I think everyone else was kind of doing what he told them to do.
Yes.
It sounds like they were kind of in fear of him. But a lot of bad things happen to corpses here. Do you ever think that there's any kind of
Malicious,
or
spirit?
angry, or just people going, what happened? Why did this happen? Or something. You know, something, I don't know if you can catch vibes like that from, spirits or anything like that.
We do have a coworker here who's heard footsteps.
Yeah.
Creaking, but not too much stuff has happened, honestly. Most of the bodies that came here were obviously dead.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Charles Lamb, because this is a labor of love and he's
Yes.
still upset about what happened, maybe,
Possibly.
which would make sense because no one else would have an attachment to this
Yes.
of the dead people. But the family business being so humiliated and the name just,
Tarnished.
So, yeah, completely.
I can show you more parts of the building.
Oh, if you don't mind.
We're setting up right now.
Ooh. Was this a leftover?
No, this is something we were getting with doing the setup with.
Yeah.
And so, and we like to play with our customers and employees, customers who don't pay, employees that don't work, but.
Oh, and you have the Chop Shop book, I see.
So we have the Chop Shop book here.
Excellent book.
Yes.
What is that?
This thing right here?
Yes.
This is actually really cool. So this is something I wanted to show you.
Wow.
These are actually all the original people who came through here, and the land's names are actually in here. Let me find it. Here we have
Lamb Charles.
Charles Lamb, 1946. We have,
Whoa. So these were just in here when you got it?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
so yeah, we have a lot of the Lamb family.
Huntington Memorial Hospital, place of death, January 11, 1946. Casket and services, $250. Total charge, $319.76. Oh, here's Charles, another Charles Lamb.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Let me look through this, cause
Charles Gordon. Family discount. Charge to Ella Lamb. Anna Lamb. So, okay, the 46 people must have been Charles Lamb's parents because he opened in 29. So, yeah, this must be the Charles Lamb of this place. Okay.
there was a couple other lambs in here. Let me get them for you.
This is nuts.
Yeah. So, and when I found the Lamb family bell, I'm not sure if that one has to do with it. Oh, here. This is Lawrence Lamb, which is, I think, the son of, I don't want this to tip over. The son of Charles, I believe. He's a son of Charles, which was the father of Lorraine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Lori Ann is
Yeah,
so
Lori.
Charles Lamb had a son, at least one son, and then his son had a daughter, I think, and two sons. And Lori Ann
Yes.
was the daughter who sort of took over the business,
Yes.
I believe, in the 70s, and she married Sconce,
She married Sconce.
and then it went crazy.
Yeah.
But they're saying that Lori Ann, you know, they were trying to maintain his innocence with the,
Yes.
you know, but yet.
They were saying she didn't know anything.
Yeah.
She was the accountant. She was the woman who like greeted people at the door, kind of with like a soft touch. But you know, you're in the business. You gotta know what your son's
Yeah.
doing, what's happening under the roof.
I think that they found her name forged on some documents
Yes.
for removals or something. So, crazy. Was this part of the?
So these are just things that we're bringing in for the
Okay.
escape room, and we're kind of setting up. So we found like some old stuff, but this one was actually down. These were actually downstairs, which I'll get to it. We
Okay,
found
we
some
don't-
crypts downstairs, and they were behind a wall. And when we were renovating, we were like, oh, this like wall is like hollow, and we opened it, and there's crypts in there.
Wow.
So we found these like bottles in there. Thought I should add some cool original
Okay.
stuff.
So your escape room is obviously having a funeral home theme
Yes.
to it.
It's kind of like you've been invited to a funeral, one last at the Lamb Mortuary, and that's kind of storyline.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a fun, puzzly kind of thing, or is it going to be a terrifying jump scare thing?
It's puzzling. I'm more into the true crime rather than the horror of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I really love true crime, and I thought it would be fun to do and work with my friends. So I have two other people on my team. One of them is the NASA scientist, who she's like gearing up all the puzzles, and like I'm kind of doing the design and website. So.
Oh, you got to be open. You got to be open before Halloween. You have to.
I know, we're really rushing to that deadline. You think you have all the time in the world, and then it creeps up on you.
The last 2 weeks are when it all gets done.
Yeah. And so these are like two other offices. Obviously, it's just like set up right now, so there's not much to show. But these were like smaller offices.
Oh, sure. Maybe, yeah, this is maybe the break room or something. Yeah.
Break room, office, or something.
Yeah.
And then there's another room over there. It's kind of, we're still working with it.
Okay.
So I'll take you guys to actually where all the horror happened. Let me bring the book.
Okay.
So you kind of have like, pictures along with it too. So this is actually the morgue where he dissected all the
Oh,
bodies.
there's the Torto Floor, yeah. Wow.
Now it's our break room. Kind of more.
Did you have this place? Did you have it blessed before you?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Like my family's Christian, so
Yeah.
we definitely had a priest.
I would be throwing holy water all over this place.
Yeah. So what I think is cool, I still remember when we got the building, like it had the original cabinets, there was heart pacers, like things left behind.
Oh man.
And
Because he would just take them out, and
Yes.
I think he was it selling it or melting it down or something.
yeah, and so this is kind of right here. He was like standing right there over this body.
It's like right here.
Right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Like you could tell from the door frame here, like this brain was just like straight out, like he's dissecting this woman.
And they took pictures.
And we have like cabinets still. Obviously, I don't know if obviously it's our like cleaning thing, but there's
Yeah.
like a hole in the ceiling here.
Oh, some sort of ventilation.
Some kind of ventilation. This is obviously, I think, where he's like kept embalming fluids and
Yeah.
different stuff.
It makes sense. It's not a very big room for that, though.
Yeah.
Is this the only embalming room in the place?
I believe so. As you can see, there used to be like a sink right here based
Yeah.
on the floor. It was like a body sink where they would as well.
It's smaller than I would have expected. A lot smaller.
Yeah.
But it was a family business in the 20s, so I
Yeah.
imagine they didn't think it was going to turn into what it did become. Wow.
Yeah, but this is where most of the horrors happen.
Yeah, they say that. I was reading about it, and they were saying that that he would. I mean, we know that they were selling their body parts to for medical experiments. And I couldn't imagine why he was doing it.
Yeah.
Because they're already dead. What's a dead heart? But I guess people can dissect them in medical schools.
He was he was selling them on the black market. That's the whole thing. He started coastal cremations and organ like something like organ bank.
Seeing the opportunity to corner the market offering cheap cremations, David Sconce started a company called Coastal Cremations and also the Coastal International Eye and Tissue Bank. They offered to cremate a body for something like $50, a fraction of the cost that everyone else was charging. In the meantime, the company was literally ripping the bodies apart and selling the pieces for profit, and they were cremating hundreds of bodies at a time. Oh, and here's a kicker. David Sconce had a personalized license plate. I burn for you.
He was like selling it to schools for like research and all this stuff. So he was making money on the side. And there is an original neighbor. This building as well belonged to them out here. And there's an original tenant, and he tells me all kinds of stories. He's been here since the beginning. I don't know if you want to talk to him or what, but he's told me out in the courtyard, he used to come out and there was folding tables, stacks and stacks of brain, human brain, just out in the courtyard.
That's nuts.
He just like tells me this nonchalantly. I'm like, oh, so right where I'm standing, there was like
out in the air,
just human brains out in the sun. They were putting them into bags to send them off. So,
mental.
yeah.
I was reading one thing where he had something. He was making like, I don't know, was it $5 or $6 a month on gold from teeth?
Gold teeth. He was pulling out gold teeth. So that was part of the process, like he gets the body, pulls the gold teeth, sells them, gets all the organs.
What did he do? He said something about like making the pliers sing.
Yeah, making
wasn't
the
it?
pliers sing.
So that just probably just by trying to get
out the
so awful. Oh, these poor people who trusted their families.
And after obviously the dissection, he would take them up to Pasadena where they had their crematory.
We just came from there,
Yeah.
where it was.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
We found the
And
spot.
he burnt it down after putting in, I think, 18 bodies?
38.
Yeah, 38?
Yeah, he put 18 was the record, and they were trying to break the record, and they put in 38 in one oven, one retort, and just cramming them in with 2x4s. So the Lamb family were using the crematory at a Mountain View cemetery, and that's where we are now. So I am going to show you where the crematory was. So this is inside Mountain View Cemetery, and the Pasadena Mausoleum is located in there as well. And the Lamb family used to use the crematory, which stood right there. Now, the crematory, they say the two ovens, or retorts is the technical word for them, they were the two largest this side of the Mississippi, and they were continuously operating 16 to 18 hours a day. Now, the Lamb family, since they were mass cremating people, it's only a misdemeanor to cremate more than one person at a time. Their previous record was 18. Now, these ovens were 4 foot by, they were 3.5 by 4 feet wide and 8 feet long. And they had 18 was the big record for stuffing people in one of those ovens. And on this particular night, it was November 23rd, 1986. They broke the record and stuffed with 2x4s 38 bodies into one of the ovens. 38 bodies into this oven. They had to use 2x4s. They had to break the body of one of the legs to get it in, and they say that that's what might have broken up blocked the chimney and started the fire, which burned and burned and burned, because the bodies, when they break down, it's fat, and fat, like candles, burn and burn and burn. And that took place right here. And nothing's been built here since. It's interesting. You can see the square outline of the shape. My friend Roger, thankfully, took these couple of pictures while it was still here before it was destroyed. So the crematory used by the Lamb Funeral Home was right here. And it burned like a candle forever because of the fat.
And I'm so surprised they didn't catch him after that. He moved to Hesperia. He opened his crematory over there.
Okay, since the crematory in Altadena was lost, Sconce moved his operations north to a city called Hesperia. Oscar's Ceramics was established about 20 miles north of San Bernardino. Sconce had installed ovens for what was listed on the business permit as a ceramics factory. Sconce was trucking hundreds of bodies at a time from Pasadena up to the ovens, having mass cremations and sending garbage cans overflowing with ashes back to the funeral home, where they were randomly distributed to loved ones. Ultimately, responding to complaints of the smell of burning meat around the ceramics factory, in January of 1987, authorities inspected the factory. Upon opening one oven, they say, a foot fell out, and that led to the scandal finally coming to light.
We'll take you down to the basement here.
Okay.
This is actually original carpeting.
Can I go down?
Yes, you could go down.
Man, it's really this is old. So were there viewing rooms down here or something? It's so nice. It seems like it would have been.
When we came in here, there was a bunch of smaller offices
Okay.
with carpeting. So you just missed it. These are the crypts that we found. Now they hold our bulbs, obviously.
Oh, so this was supposed to be like a holding area, and you're saying it was sealed up?
It was sealed off, and we came in, knocked, and we're like, oh my god, there's something behind here, and
Wow. I imagine they probably made sure with all the law enforcement activity that they probably made sure that everything was cleaned out of human remains, but still, the fact that they were kind of hidden.
I saw some comments online that someone who did some work on the building said that the person at the time said the Lamb family used to be buried here, and this is where their crypts were. But that was only a claim. I can't back that up.
No kidding. Yeah, this is something. Yeah, I was reading that they had at one point 100 bodies just sitting on tables in here,
Yes.
waiting to go to the Altadena. Do you know they owned that crematory at the
I'm not sure if
Mountain
they
View?
owned it or
We're just
or-
using it because it's old. It was really old, and wow, look at it. This is something. This looks really decorative. That's
Yes.
why I thought it was maybe part of a viewing area,
No.
but no, it wouldn't be. Not with this
Not
right
this.
here.
Yeah. And obviously we use it as a warehouse now. I'm not sure. There's some. I always walk by here and I wonder what happened on the ground here, because there's some orange
Oh, yeah.
stains.
Yeah.
So I can't claim what happened here, but
Huh. There. So I wonder, is there like an access area to outside from down here?
there is one, but it's not really an access area. It's kind of like a smaller room. I don't like the room. It's a little creepy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it to you guys.
Because there was a point in here where that ceramics place would ship the remains in garbage cans.
Yes.
And they called it the
Ash Palace.
Ash Palace, yeah.
I'm gonna show it to you.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Was that down here? But there's no
It's not down
okay.
here. I actually confirmed it with the neighbor. I had thought it was where an outdoor area, but he showed me where the actual Ash Palace is. I'll show you the small room here that gives me I don't really like the vibes that come from it, but it's
Oh.
this one. It's dark and
Oh, interesting. Huh. Look at that. It's so, yeah, here's the access point. You could see that there is a vent here that they could easily lift up and drop stuff down, because there has to be. Well, how do you get the boxes down here? Just through the stairway?
yeah, through the stairway.
That's a
I
lot.
know.
Maybe they were using this. Maybe there was a slide here or something.
Maybe something.
But this is a creepy room because it's so solid. And ooh, what's that?
There's no hinges from the inside. It's only from the outside.
What's in there?
I think that's under the building. So that's a crawl space.
Can I gotta Troy, can you turn on your phone for a second?
Phone.
Yeah, turn on the light.
Oh,
Do you mind if I do this,
Oh,
Noel?
go for it.
Thank you.
hold this for a
Yeah.
second. So you just need the light?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, right? Oh man. Oh, it's crazy. There's You see this? See what I'm seeing?
What is there?
It looks like piles of. Is that like those white piles of? They couldn't be.
No, it's probably like from like people walking, maybe.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I don't want to sound. There's like. Wait a second. Hang on a second. I'll show you this.
Powder.
Yeah, and you know, powder's like. Huh.
Yeah, I'll see after.
Okay.
This. Well, you know. I'm sure that you've looked this over. I'm sure that you guys have all checked this out. Can I see your mic for a second?
I'd say this is a rape room.
I don't like it. I don't like every time I walk in here, I get the weirdest feelings.
That was crazy. Okay. Now where are we going, Noel? Wow. I wonder. That would be crazy if there were still cremains in here. I mean, they had thousands of people in here.
Yes. I know. Honestly. And so that's the kind of basement tour. You gotta see the crypts and everything.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to be bold and ask.
Go for
And could you spare one of those little pieces of marble?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do you mind? I have a museum, and everything's in storage right now. But having a piece of the Lamb Funeral Home,
Go for it.
that would be. Thank you. This is really something. So, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you fit that in your pocket?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. This is history. This is some messed up history. This is exactly. Well, you found me. You know what I mean.
I found you through the pen post, actually. You're like, I have the pen from the Lamb Funeral Home.
Oh yeah.
That one? Yes.
I should have brought that with me. Yeah, that's right. Dude, yeah. Wow.
And so here, this is like where the viewing was, obviously, after preparation. Here's the back where they would trap the bodies.
So this is where the load-in area
Yeah, this was
was.
the loading area, and as you can see, this is the door to the
To the mortuary, I guess.
morgue.
So they is this the room with the garbage cans?
This is not yet.
Okay. Oh,
I
we got
thought
more.
it-
I thought this might be the end.
I
was
had
like, oh,
honestly thought this was, but
Yeah.
there's a couple more treats in this little tour left.
So this is where they would park the hearses.
Yes.
In here, in the garage, and probably spare supplies that didn't have to be. Well, who knows what they did at that point? Wow, cool.
And so this is out into the courtyard. This is where I mentioned the neighbor mentioned to me that he came out and there were just tables of just like
Organs.
organs and brains just out on like folding tables. And this is the ash palace that you've been asking for. So
What's in there? This is very Dahmer-esque.
yes,
These things.
these ones, these are like rain collectors. We have them like
Oh, smart.
yeah. And so this is the ash palace. So let's go through it. After he would get the body, tell the family, sign some papers, take out the gold teeth, dissect them, take them to the crematory, burn it with 10 other bodies, 20 other bodies. He would bring the barrels of ashes here. And because they were so little, he would pour random powders in it and give it to somebody, be like, yeah, this is your loved one mixed with 10, 20 other people. And apparently the air would be so thick in here that they couldn't breathe. It was very
When the people had to pick up their loved one, they were just shoveling boxes. Here's what did they say about weight? There was a weight thing.
Yeah, weight. So that's where the random powders came in, because women were a certain weight, men were a certain weight.
Yeah.
And to be able to be on par and not have any eyes come towards them, they would measure them out.
This isn't going to be in the escape room. This is your
This
storage.
This is
Yeah.
going to be the escape
So this is an exclusive tour for you guys
Mainly
to see this.
Mainly the first room is going to
Okay. How long of an experience do you anticipate it being for people when they sign up?
maybe hopefully around an hour
Mhm.
to have people get through the puzzles. A lot of the puzzles have to do with the history and learning the history. And Yeah, we have some cool stuff on its way.
Very cool. I'm as long as it's not a like jump scare place, I'd be into it totally.
It's more of a true crime because I really
Yeah.
like true crime. I'm not a fan of the horror stuff, so. And now we're getting to the body freezer room.
Oh.
And there's some whiteboards and original stuff. So here, let me close this door first. And we still have like this little limited access California Code of Regulations. Still an homage to what this place used to be.
Care and preparation for burial. Disposition of all human remains shall be strictly private, and no one shall be allowed in the embalming or storage room while human remains are being embalmed. Wow, this is fascinating. Transferred in and out of the funeral establishment or storage facility, except in the casket, shall be covered and kept out of public view to the extent reasonably possible. Must be fascinating. Jeez Louise.
Yes.
It's just not even real what they did here.
It's
I mean, how many? There were like 8. Well, people are outsourcing at that point.
And so this is, obviously we have a lot of material in here, but this is the freezer door.
Wow.
And we have
Ooh.
original whiteboard that says
What is that?
pacemaker, jewelry, casket, clothing, embalm, cremate, cosmetics.
That's still got the writing on it. This is where they kept the bodies before while they
Yes.
were here.
There is still the California Code of Regulations to all removal personnel, and then tagged covered, have a head block, logbook.
So they would have taken, like, at the end of the day after the viewings, they would have taken them out this door in their little wheelie thing and
Yes.
stuck them in here overnight on their
This is the big freezer door, and we still have the freezer in here. We have material, but this is where a lot of bodies pass.
a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, you know, and it's such a shame because the Lamb family were so reputable.
Yeah, you could really smell it.
I wonder if we'll pick up any voices. And the original floor is still here. God, yeah, thousands of bodies were kept in here, good and bad. I mean, for the proper way and for the improper way. Thousands and thousands of people since the 20s. That's absolutely. And then I think it all happened in '87. I think
Yes.
is when they got busted.
Yes.
But it continued to be a funeral home until how many years ago?
Up until 2010, it was like
2010.
the last ones.
And you guys moved in 2016.
2016.
So for that period of time, it was just
vacant.
so it was in really, really poor shape when you got here, huh?
Yeah, poor shape. We had squatters.
Look at that, that's
There was
lumber.
different types of stuff going on here.
Everyone involved in that scandal used this thermometer at one point in time.
Yes.
Wow. Huh. Original walls. Look at this. It's so. I wonder if they wouldn't have had a window there. Maybe they did have a window there. Nah. I guess they wouldn't need to, would they? Why need to see?
And then here are some back rooms. Let me see if this one's open. And they honestly, these ones give me the weirdest creeps. This one's not open. It's
Okay.
just a storage room. And then as well, we have this. This is just a back room shed.
You're really kind to give me like all this access. So kind, because this is really this is gonna. So many people over the years have wanted to see this place,
Yeah.
and it's really we're very fortunate to have met you and to be able to. So they have a red light here for
Yes.
some. And was that just a signal that someone was in there? But
Maybe. Yeah.
Huh. All the conversations that took place in this building, you know, in this facility, just so many, all the plans, all the awful people. Do you get a lot of people here that want to see the inside of the place? You must.
Yeah, we get a lot of people. We have a lot of customers who come in and they're like, "Oh, was this place a mortuary before?" And yeah, this is.
So they would bring the caskets out this door then and load them into the hearse.
Probably, yeah.
And did we see the inside of that?
Yes, this is where the main room is. So this door takes you back area. So here.
I don't want to get anybody on camera that doesn't want to be on camera. And these windows are still in great shape, considering you see you had the squatters in here and everything, but the windows look great.
That's
So how many? This must have been just like one main viewing room in here, huh?
Yes, so this is where they would have the bodies, and it was one main room.
Curtains probably over these things. This is really special. And thank you so much for giving me a piece.
I saw one video recently of a guy who was filming the outside, and he said, "Oh, this is probably where they did the cremations." And I was like, "No, it's just a chimney."
Now, Troy was in the mortuary business, and so he knows. I've learned a lot about this kind of stuff over the years too. But yeah, I think I know the video you're talking about. The fireplace, that's great. But there were no cremations on this property.
No.
They took them all over to Pasadena, and then ultimately and just trucking them just cramming into the trucks. And do you know how far away that ceramics place was?
60 miles. It was in Hesperia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
16 from here?
60.
Oh, 60.
60.
See if we
Yeah.
can go out there one day, see if anything's out there. That would be fascinating.
Do you know the way that they discovered what David was doing?
Tell me.
So he moved to that.
I'm going to move a little bit because so
Yeah.
just to get you out of the. Okay, perfect. Good luck.
He moved to that area in Hesperia to do his cremations, and a lot of the neighbors were saying that it smelled like dead bodies. They were like, and they were getting the fire department involved. And this one guy came through one day and was like, "Don't tell me that I don't know what dead bodies smell like. I was in Auschwitz." And so he called the fire department, and the fire department came, and they
I heard about
human
this.
sludge.
They
There's
opened-
pictures, actually.
I think they opened it up and a foot fell out or something.
Yes, they opened up the
It's like we're talking about this with
Yeah,
smiles
yes.
on our face because
I
it's
know.
so outrageous.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. It's so ridiculous that you gotta go, what? It's outrageous.
So this was the human sludge outside.
And that's not even the one that caught on fire.
And this is like the fire that they were showing. This is inside there. Yeah, it's one huge oven.
Oh, so there was a fire. Oh, was that just the oven? Okay, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
inside
the
of the oven. Okay.
Yeah.
The fire was at Altadena.
Yes.
Okay. And I was reading, which makes more sense now. You made that comment about Auschwitz
Yeah.
because they used to call him Little Hitler.
Yeah, they called him.
And that is really kind of profound
Yes.
because that was probably supposed to be really amusing
Yeah.
to them, ha ha ha. But everything he did or had done to people is what Sconce was doing here, except they were already dead, thank God. And he's out, isn't he?
Yeah, he got out. I think he went for a couple years, and then he got out and sold some fake bus tickets or had some gun charge. I don't want to claim anything. And then he went back to jail.
Do you know what happened to Lori Ann?
I'm not sure what happened to Lori.
These people still have to be around.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting to know.
I know during all this they were trying to indict him on murder for Tim Waters.
Yes.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
With the oleander plant, and he died of a heart attack, and oleander could possibly was it a heart attack, or oleander can play like heart medicine in the autopsies.
Sconce was known to strong-arm people who called him out on his bad behavior, resorting to threats and even the possibility of murder. In the case of Timothy Waters, Waters was a mortician who was being shut out of the cremation business by Sconce.
We're at Grandview Cemetery. There is the crematory that cremated Rock Hudson and John Eric Hexum, amongst many others. But I'm here to show you the final resting place of one of the victims of the Lamb Funeral Home scandal, Timothy Waters, who died poisoning by oleander.
He started raising a stink about it, and then suddenly Waters died of a heart attack. A Sconce employee later confessed that he had dropped something into Waters' drink at a restaurant. The Ventura County Coroner's Office re-examined tissues saved from the Waters' original autopsy and changed the cause of death to poisoning by oleander. However, the charges were dropped because there was no positive proof. There was also another claim that Sconce ordered the murder of the owner of the Cremation Society of California. Sconce was sentenced to only 5 years for the mishandling of human beings at the crematory and was released after only serving 2.5. Sconce still faced conspiracy charges, which ultimately led to a 1997 sentence, a very weird sentence, of a lifetime with probation. Sconce kept in touch with his parole office by mail, moving multiple times to different states, and in 1994 he was found guilty of selling forged bus tickets while he was working as a bus driver in Arizona, sentenced to 5 years. By 2011, he was back in court for a firearms charge. He borrowed a gun from a neighbor, and instead of returning it, he tried to sell it to a pawn shop. Because a firearms charge was a federal offense, he was sentenced once again to 5 years in prison. It just doesn't matter. Where is he today? He got out last year, January of 2023.
They believe that David had murdered him like that by poisoning with oleander.
Was he charged with that murder? He must have been.
No, he wasn't charged, but he was on trial. So.
And then, because other people were threatened too when he was busted, weren't it? Like the president of the Cremation Association of the World, or something something outrageous like that. And was he threatened to kill that person too, and a couple of other people? But Waters, his rival, and the guy who actually knew what was up. Somebody said, because Sconce was charging like $50 and other people were charging like thousands, and then they're like, no, something's up with this guy. And I think Waters is the one who was poking around. This has really been interesting. I'm trying to think if there's any other things I wanted to know while we're here, but we covered so much. And so your escape room,
Missing at the mortuary.
Escape room and tour. So they're going to be able to experience part of the Lamb Funeral Home and actually see where these people operated. And it's not a scary escape room.
It's a true crime.
But you're
gonna no jump scares.
And you're gonna have it's gonna be technical. I mean, you've got someone you said from NASA that's helping with the electronics and that's going to be really exciting. I hope you'll let me know when that opens.
Definitely, I will. We're working on it, so hopefully it'll get up soon.
Oh, well, look them up, and absolutely, and if those are really cremains down there, that's mental. That is, I mean, it looked like. Have you ever been to a rose garden where they scatter cremains? It's exactly what it looks like. I'm not even, well, we'll see. Thank you very much anyway, Noelle. You've been so kind. And come back to experience the escape room.
18 bodies at a time,
pulling gold teeth, harvesting organs, and threatening literally anyone.
Bragged about slipping something into Waters' drink.
It's burning over 8,000 bodies a year.
Piles upon piles of corpses.
Turned his family's funeral home into a nightmare.
So thank you to Noelle Attar for opening up the Lamb Funeral Home for us to see, for everyone to see. This has been exceptional. I mean, I've seen some pretty cool stuff, but I don't think anyone has had access to the inside of the place. And what we found in the basement, is that crazy? I mean, I'm sure law enforcement went through this place. The coroner went through this place, but it sure looked like cremains to me. So anyway, check out the escape room. I'm putting the link just below. And thank you, Noelle, and thank you guys for watching. And until next time.
You heard me.